Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the ultimate build, the ultimate media build right here. I'm going to take you through the step by step procedure how to get this thing done. Come on in, man. Come on in on this journey here. We're going to take this thing to its limit, to the most capabilities here, what it could run, and getting all your money's worth here on this. So by now, I gave you guys a lot of time. You guys should have the Raspberry Pi in your possession. And then let's get this thing started. Let's get this thing going. Now, one thing to mind, I have a whole bunch of Raspberry Pis here, like four Pi 4s. Then I got like four of Pi 3s and the 2s. I got one like in every room, in my arcades, all over the place. But I've noticed there's some shortage on these things, and I think it's because of the chip shortage or the whatever that they need to make it. It's just not there. So the prices have been jacked up because usually these cost $35 every time it comes out. So it's always best to get the newer one because you're paying the same amount. Might as well. Except for the Pi 4, a bit different. There was three price range. You have your 35 because of the RAM size. So if you got the 2 gigs was the 35, then you could get a 4 gig one, which is I believe like 50, 55, and then the 8 gig. But now I've noticed so the prices are jacked up on those. So remember what you're paying for if you do get one. And if we go to their website on here, raspberrypi.com, probably the best way to buy it. I've noticed like the only way to get it, besides like Amazon, which like I said, have the prices really jacked because possibly people bought a lot of these out and now are selling them again, with so just remember what you're paying for there. But the only way really to get it here on the Raspberry Pi, so if we go to the hardware section, scroll down to the Pi 4, and if we click on buy it, it'll list like all the different companies. I found this one right here, CanaKit has them. This is probably the cheapest here, the 109.95 for 2 gig. But remember, it's what you're getting in the kit here is really not all that. I mean, you got the power cord, the HDMI, SD card. That's what, maybe like 20, 30 bucks. So the other ones are crazy, like 150 here for 4 gig, and then here 170. Might as well get the Odroid and Plus if you're gonna do that. Get your money's worth. But it's probably the cheapest one here. So that sucks. Regards to that, like I said, when I got mine, it was no problem. But okay, so we're on RaspberryPi.com. That's where we're gonna need to be to set this up. Now, you guys are lucky. They make things so much easier now. Back in the day, we had to get the SD card formatter. You had to download the Retropie image. You also had to get like Etcher or something to write it. Now it's just one software that does everything there, and that's all we need. So when we're on RaspberryPi.com here, you're gonna go to the software tab, where you're gonna see the Raspberry Pi operating system here, and this Pi Imager is what you need. So whether you're on the Mac like myself here, or Windows, or you could just install it through the terminal here. You want to download this. Download the software, and then once you have that, we're going to open up the app, and this is how we're going to get the SD card going. So take your SD card, plug it in to the SD card. If you have a SD card slot, if not, the USB slot there, and then once that's plugged in, open up the app right here, Raspberry Pi. And first thing I always do is format this thing so it's in FAT32. And what's great about this imager, regardless what size your SD card is, it's going to get into FAT32, which is great because we have to do a a lot of different hoops and stuff to make that possible. But so you're gonna go to choose your operating system. If we go all the way down here where it says erase, format card as FAT32, click that. Then choose storage, choose your card. I have a 16 gigabyte card there, and then you're gonna click right. It's gonna ask you, do you want to continue? Yes. So this is gonna wipe everything out. It's gonna format it into the format we want. Now the build that we're gonna do on here is the Retropie build. There it is. It's done. Retropie build, and then we're gonna make it the ultimate media. We're gonna put your movies, your games, a desktop on there, everything. But one thing to you could do it different ways. You could do it as a desktop through the Raspbian build and do it that way, or you could do install these separately, or even as a multi-boot if you wanted to. If anybody's interested in that, let me know. But I'll do it the simplest way here through Retropie. So when you load this up, your games and stuff will come up first, and then everything else will be secondary. You could always switch it to that. So we're gonna go here in the operating system. So if we were doing the Raspbian build, we would do the top one here. And then I also mentioned, there's other operating system. They even have here, which one is it? Miscellaneous. This pin one is a multi-boot one. If you want to do it all separate as a multi-boot. But the one we're going to go to is this right here, emulation and games. You got two options here. We're going to go with the Retropie. Click that. And then depending what card you have here, if you have the Pi 1 or 0, the 2 or 3. Right now I have the 4 in there, so I'm going to choose the 4. Pick the card again. And then right again, continue, yes. All right, so password. There we go. So this is going to write this in, and then once this is done, we're going to eject that from the computer. We're going to plug it into the Raspberry Pi, one of these boards. And look how great these things are, man. Look how small fits in your hand. They even make the smaller ones, the zeros. So you can make a handheld device if you wanted to. And what's great about these, not only the price, but also just being able to move it around. You're not going to carry a PC over here or load up a PC every time. Yes, with the PC, you get better capabilities as far as the newer systems go, like the Wii or the GameCube. But we're going to get everything here from the 80s, the 90s on here, whether it's consoles, computer systems, handheld, arcades, all that on here. So while this is writing through, so I just wanted to make that point. Also, you should have got a controller. I'm using an old school 360 controller on here. You could use the Xbox One controller as well. And then you're just going to need one of these dongles if you're doing the wireless one. This is for the 360. Just as if you were plugging this thing into the computer, using it on the computer. You do the same way here for the Pi. Xbox One is more like a USB type of stick. Or if your controller's wired, you just basically plug it in. You got 4 USB ports here. But I picked up this off eBay. They actually had a 4-pack, 4 of these. I think it was like 30, 40 bucks. It was a great deal. And because you don't have to go out of your way get anything crazy. You could also do it through PS3 controllers, through the Bluetooth. There's a way to enable Bluetooth on this. And as far as the card, what size you should get, well, don't go cheap getting like a China ripoff card, but make sure it's, because remember, that's what the Pi is running on here. That's basically like its hard drive where everything's being stored. But as far as size, a lot of these don't take up really much size until we get to like the CD-based games. Those take up a little bit more room. But also, if you're putting the entire library of games, or if you're just selecting which ones you want, also matters. I think on a 128 or 256 should fit like the whole library. Or you could be crazy like myself. Now I'm going to show you guys a way to install them right into the SD card, or if you want to use like a flash drive, I got this one here, Micro Center, 512 gigabytes. And they're cheap now, man. This one I think was like 40 for 512 gigs. That's crazy. That's overkill though. I don't think you need that much, but with this I could get anything the hell I want. So I'm going to show you guys how to transfer the ROMs, the games through USB or directly to the SD card, because you could do them both. And so while this is being done, we're going to go there. I'm going to plug everything in, the HDMI wire and all that. We'll boot this up. And then I'm going to plug my dongle thing here, whatever you call it, to it, because we're going to have to configure the controller. That's the first thing when it boots up. And also, I like to plug in my keyboard, get the keyboard in there, because it's easier to navigate some of the menus, plus also in case something goes wrong on the controller or you can't set it up there. I always like to have the keyboard set up first. So that's what I'm going to do here. This thing's about done here. I'm going to load this up and see you guys on the Pi on the boot up. All right, so the card's done. We have everything plugged in here. I'm going to load up the Retropie here image for the first time. Like I said, make sure your keyboard's either plugged in or you have your controllers ready to go. Let's get this thing plugged in. Get the Pi booted up. Here we go. Now there's a lot of changes, modifications we could do on this, as far as like the opening, the splash screen could be changed to like an image or video. We could get rid of the text as well. So this is the initial opening boot for the card. And once this loads up, the first thing it's going to ask us to set up our controls. This way we can navigate the menus on this. So I always like to do the keyboard first. So I got a USB keyboard plugged in. So there's the splash screen. Like I said, you could change that. I'll show you guys how to do that as well as the themes. If you guys want to get it, there's just a lot of great themes out there as well. So you can see this thing's booting up. For the first time here on the Raspberry Pi 4. I'm going to set this thing up. I'm going to get everything going here, man. Your movies, your games, desktop, PC. It's the emulation station. So this is what you're going to be prompted. It's going to be a welcome screen. No gamepads detected right now. So basically I'm just going to press and hold any button on the keyboard. There it goes. And then you got to configure. So you're up, down, left, right. And you just press, use enter as start, select, and then your buttons. Now you don't have to do all of them on here. Like the left thumb here. The way you skip something, just hold the button down. And it's just gonna skip, like the analog buttons, or when you do the controller, if your controller doesn't have the extra buttons, most of these classics don't even use this many. And then your hotkey here, remember which hotkey you're gonna use. I like to use my select button as the hotkey, and then press A, OK. And that's so the keyboard's set up, so now I can navigate here with the keyboard. But I want to also get my controller here configured, the Xbox controller. So I got this thing booted up. So the way to go back there, press start. It will get you the main menu here, and you want to go here to configure input. Press A. Are you sure you want to configure? Yes. So you can see one gamepad detected. I have this turned on. If you have other ones, you could do those as well. So basically, again, you're gonna hold the button on your controller. Detected that. D-pad, up, down, left, right. Start button, select. Then your A, B, X, Y. shoulder buttons, trigger, left thumbstick, right thumbstick, analogs. Now we're going to be able to configure this how we want it anyway. And then your hotkey, which I select as my select button. Click OK. So now my controller's set up, my keyboard's set up here. I can navigate menus here with both. Here's the controller. If I was going to do another one, I'd go back there. Configure input. You want to do player 2, player 3, or player 4. Or you get another controller here, and you want it. This is where you would go. All right, so let's back out of there. So we got that set up. Next thing first, we want to get the internet on here because we're going to need to get the internet so we could update stuff, update scripts, download programs and all that. So let's go into the Retropie here. Press A. Get you the menu screen here. And we want to go down to this one, Raspi config. Let's go here first. This is where you could change your displays, interface, performance, and all that. So one thing we're going to need to go here is the third one, interface, options. Press enter. The second one down here, SSH, we want to enable this. Put yes. What this allows us, we could transfer files and stuff from our PC into the Pi. So if that's enabled, that'll let us do so. If you don't see Retropie come up or it doesn't let you, that's a good reason why. So make sure that's set. We can also do performance if we want to. Right here, the fifth one down, we need to set up our country. I'm in the good old USA. This is needed for so you could set up your internet. And they put it all the way down here, man. Where is it? There, United States. Click OK. So that's set up. The other thing I like to do is go into the advanced options. And then the first one here, expand file size. This now it generally should already do it on the initial boot, but in case it didn't, in case you were moving files and you see that the thing says it's full or anything, and you barely put any type of files, that's the reason why. Or if you were using like a custom image and stuff, you want to go there and just expand the file size. So now we have whatever size SD card you have in there. Capabilities. Once that's done, let's click finish. And we're going to reboot. Yes. All right. So that's taken care of. We got SSH enabled. We got our country selected. So we can set up our internet wireless connections here. And we expanded the file size. So we're ready to go. Get ready to get things going. So next thing, once this boots right back up, we're going to set up our Wi-Fi. Okay. Unless you're connected through the internet, the Ethernet wire directly, then you won't need to. The Pi 4 does have that. But for me, I do need to. I'm not connected that way. So wait for this to reboot up. You got your controller set up. You got the keyboard set up if you're using the keyboard. As the keyboard will make things much easier once we get to the... if we have to use the terminal and stuff, it's much easier to type it out and all that. So this is booted up. We'll go back into the Retropie menu, and we're going to go down here to Wi-Fi. Click A. And we're going to go here, connect to Wi-Fi network. Okay. Press enter, and then you find your internet. Where the hell's mine? My Alties. Here it is. Hit enter. Then your password. Okay. Just give it a second. It's going to connect to it. And the way you'll know it, you'll see like your IP come up on here. Dun, dun, dun. There it goes, connecting. And so there's your current IP. Now remember the IP, you may need it. There you can write it down. So once that's done, we could exit out of here. We're connected. You could also go here where it says show IP if you ever needed to get your IP. Splash screens here is if you want to, what I mentioned earlier, if you want to change like the look, the themes, your the opening image there. But we'll do that later. I want to get the important stuff done first. So let's go into right here, Retropie Setup first on here. Before we do anything, go anywhere. Let this boot up. And here we get to like install other drivers, install other packages, configure stuff. So you're gonna be on the screen a lot. Click OK. And so the first thing I like to do now, I just installed a clean Pi image, but we want to update Retropie script. And now it's important you did the internet first, because if you're not connected on here, it's not going to be able to grab that. As you can see right now, I'm on version 4.7.1. So let's click OK. Yes. So let's get the most updated script. There it goes. I grabbed it. Click OK. So if you didn't do this, and let's say you're looking for a certain package or stuff and it's not there, that's the reason why you might still have an older version and why it's not coming up. But as soon as you update everything to the most recent one, everything should be there for you. You always want to check this too, you know, if you're going back this you know, months later, and because they usually update a lot. So we were on 4.71, I believe. So it's grabbing all the updates right now for your Pi. There it goes. Click OK. And you can see right now 4.7.21. So it's definitely updated things. Okay. If you needed to like update the entire thing, it's right here. Update, but it's gonna take a while if you're gonna do that. But we're done. We're set with that. Now, what I wanted to do first, before we bring in all the games and stuff, I wanted to get the media devices set up, your desktop set up. As I mentioned before, you could do this through the Retropie image, or you could do it through the Raspbian image itself. So let's install the desktop here. Let's have the desktop on here. The way we do that, we go here to Configuration and Tools. Now, if you don't want to do this one, you don't want to install, you could skip this step. But this is to get the Raspbian desktop here. So we're going to click OK. And we're going to scroll down until we get to, where is it? Right here, Raspbian. Tools, click OK. And you want to do this one, Install Pixel Desktop Experiment. Boom. Click Yes. So it's going to go ahead, it's going to install that. I got my mouse plugged in? I think I do. And this thing's cool because, you know, basically like just like a desktop thing where you can go on YouTube, navigate browser, you know, and they got all sorts of apps, man. Like the Retropie you could install there if you wanted to, the Kodi, which we're going to install shortly. They even have GIMP, man. You want to edit images and stuff. I'll show you guys that one. I'm not really going to get into too much detail there. I'll do that on a different video. Just want to have you guys set up and ready to go. What the hell is that? Okay. And once again, if you didn't want this, you don't have to install this, but I just wanted to show you guys that there's a way. So regardless of whether you chose the Retropie image or you went with the Raspbian first, you could have both of them here. In another video, I'm going to show if you wanted to start out with Raspbian and then install Retropie, you could do that as well. Alright, so finally it's installed. It does take a few minutes there to install it. So we're done here. Let's click OK. Alright, so go back out of here. Cancel, back. Now I always like to reboot, perform reboot, yes. Now when we load back up, it's going to be back into the Retropie. You could change it if you wanted to reboot into the desktop version. But we're going to go there. There's going to be a port section that's going to be created now in our menu screen as soon as this loads up. So we could go from Retropie into the desktop version. Wait for this to reboot back up. Back to the emulation station, and there you go. So we had Retropie only, now we got this port section. So click here, and you'll see desktop. Okay, that's the one we're going to select. And in that port section, you could put other like games as well, like MS-DOS games and stuff. So this boots up here. So this is the Raspbian on here on the Pi, the desktop version. So I can move my mouse here, navigate through the screen. So it installs a couple of stuff here. You got a media player here, image viewer. Change some of these settings as well, preferences and all that. Okay, if we click here, we have our web browser. Next to it, there's a folder here, so you can actually plug in a USB stick in here, go through it. It takes you to the Raspberry page and stuff, and all that. I don't want to get into much detail, but yeah, so you could pretty much surf the web here. Let's go to youtube.com. We go into YouTube videos, go to my stats and put stats or whatever, your general thing. It's all on here. Let me close that out. And then you could install a whole bunch of different program software on here. If we bring up the terminal, if we didn't have Retropie, we could actually install it here through the terminal. But one thing I did want to show you guys, I want to install GIMP. I still use GIMP. I love GIMP. And the way to do it first on here, well, first let me update this just in case. Type sudo space apt space update. Just update this. And then once it's updated, we're going to do sudo apt install. So sudo space apt install space and then GIMP. GIMP. Continue, yes. So that's going to install that. And this thing's great to have, like right on the Pi, man. Awesome. You could even do, I know they have OBS now on this thing, and a whole bunch of different stuff. So I'll get into more detail on that So once that's done, we could get out of terminal. So that's installed. Let me close that out. So we go to our menus here. We'll go down to graphics. You'll see GIMP right on here. And you can load that up. One other thing I want to show before I get out of here. Let's go to Google. Google.com. The other one is this is a great tool. It's called PyKiss. Search that. The first link here on the GitHub, PyKiss. This is a great script. What this guy done. Where you could tweak your Pi. You guys just scroll down. There's a lot of updates. This guy updates like crazy. See all these different updates. So if you have an older version, you may want to update it. And then when we scroll down to, where the hell is it? Introduction. Right here, installation. You'll see this command here, this curl command. We want to copy this entire thing. All right, copy. Actually, we're gonna need the terminal back. So we have the terminal loaded back up. Paste that in here. Paste that. Let's hit enter. This is gonna install PyKiss, and this thing's great because it's a tool you could use just to install different kinds of programs. It's great, you know. What else? What else I want to show you guys here? You got your calculator in there and stuff, man. So if we go here into System Tools, you'll see PyKiss, which we just installed. Let me get this bigger. So you guys could see it. And there's a whole bunch of things you could do on here. It's much easier to like install stuff. So first one is like tweaks and stuff. You could overclock this. You got games on here and stuff. So if you want to install, let me go there. Yeah, there's a whole bunch here. Diablo. There's Duke Nukem. We can Quake, Doom, and all that. The old school PC games, man. You could have them right here. Like Descent, SimCity. So if you wanted those, you could install them on here. You could also do it on the Pi, on the Retropie image and emulation station. But let me exit out of this. Okay, so basically, there's a whole bunch of stuff to do it. So this is how you get the desktop version. And like I said, you could install Retropie here the same way. I'll do that in another video. But basically, we're done here. We could shut down. And then we could reboot. Or I could have went into terminal and just typed emulation station. And there will take us back to the emulation station. So that's the desktop version, stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff to do on there. I'll save that for another video as far as you guys want to see different programs, different games to install. But that PyKiss should get you off to a good start, along with the GIMP image editor, and then just using as a as a web browser. I think it's great to have. Like I said, we're gonna build the ultimate media device here. I want to put everything on here. If we go back into Retropie, actually, and back into the Retropie setup, let me load this up here again. So, we had our configure tools in there. There's also here manage packages. This is where we could install a lot of stuff. There's optional packages, drivers, experimental. If we go into optional packages, you'll also see here different like emulators you can install, but also different games here as well. Down here, Retropie ports, like Duke Nukem over here, and all these other ones, they go by different names, but all the way on the bottom, it actually tells you what it is, like Wolfenstein 3D. So you could install these as well. They'll show up in the port section, like the desktop, or you could do it in the Raspbian through that PyKiss. Okay, so that's that. The other thing I want to install here is this, is Kodi. This is for us to get the movies things going. So let's do that now. Click OK. Install from, binary, yes. So this will install Kodi. You could also install Kodi through the desktop version as well, or you could install Kodi by itself. If you just wanted movies and stuff, you could go to the I forget what the Kodi website on there. You'll see a download for PC, Mac, or Raspberry Pi, and you could use that Raspberry Pi imager to install that. And they actually, I believe they have one through one of the media devices. You could just install it the same way that we installed Retropie there. So if you just wanted a movie thing, or let's say you wanted a separate device in your living room for just movies, you could do that. But on here, I want to build everything on one device here. So that's what you're going to see. But there's a way to do them separately. There's also ways to do them through a multi-boot. If you guys want to see that way or see a different way, let me know in the comments. I'll definitely set that up that way for you guys as well. So we'll wait for this. Kodi's going to get installed. And as soon as it does, we'll get into that. I'm actually on my work computer here. I'm closing out for lunch. Alright, so Kodi's installed on here. We're good. We're done there. And once again, I'm going to back out of here, back out. And once again, let's do a reboot. Anytime I install Kodi or like something like a operating thing, I like to reboot it, reset it. So this way it will appear there in our emulation station. It's going to be, again, in that port section. Get this thing loaded up. There we go. Retropie. And in the splash screen section, you could change that. Like I said, you want to change that logo there. But here we go. So we're back here, back to the main menu. Go to imports. Now in imports, you're going to see the desktop and Kodi. So anytime we want to go into the desktop version or the Kodi, it's simple. It's easy. Boom. So we have all three operatings in one here. So let's load up Kodi for the first time here. Click OK. You could actually use your Xbox controller here to navigate through Kodi, or the keyboard, whichever one works best. So here's Kodi. It's loaded up. It's ready to go. And now I'm going to show you guys how to get the movies, get everything set up on here, have everything going, change the times and all that. So first thing is we're going to go up here to this settings icon on the top, hit enter. We're going to go down into system settings here. You got your displays, you want to change that up, that's how you do it there. Your audios, input. But we're going to go down here to add-ons, all right? And we're going to need to make this accessible. So we're going to click enter. It's going to give you like a warning, so yes. So unknown sources is on. I also like to have the notifications indicator on. You don't need to, but here's updates. If you need to update automatically, yes. So that's all we needed to do here. Make unknown sources accessible, because we're going to be adding some repositories, and in order to do that, you need that to be there. Okay. Profiles. No, I don't need to go profiles. Interface. Okay. Interface here to change like the times and stuff. See, I'm on a UK Britain time zone. Let's change that. here, United States, New York, that's fine. So now the time change configures 12 o'clock. That's how you do that. All right, so we got our add-ons installed, accessible. Then we could go into File Manager. And this is where you add your sources. Right here, add source, click enter. And we're gonna have to put in from a website. So basically where we go on this, where the hell is it? Go back to the scene here. Go to Google, google.com. And anytime you have to, or you want to get a new repository, something else came out, this is where you would go. Just type in Kodi Addons. Kodi Addons. And the first one that'll come up here, best Kodi Addons. So when there's something new that came up, or let's say one of them doesn't work anymore or it changed, main one I'm going to show you, there's a bunch here that do work. I like Oath and Accrued, the first two on here. Now there's other ones if you wanted more of like live stream stuff. The one I'm going to do today, the Oath, is for like mainly your movies and your TV shows. So here it's going to show you basically what I'm going to be showing you guys how to install this. You know, we're going to go through all these steps here, but if you wanted to read about it, this is where you would go for that. And basically what I need to do is number 5 here, get this link here, host 505 github.io. Oops. Okay, because that's what we're going to need to type out here. So let's go back where we were in our Pi. Okay, so there we are. Okay, I'm going to hit enter here. Now you got to type this out exactly how it is. So it's https, the 2 dots, / host 505.github.io. And it's got to be exactly, because if it's not, it won't work. Click OK. It'll give you like an error, can't find it. And then you got to name it Oath. Click OK. So we added that source. Now, if you wanted to add any other ones, you go back there again, add source. But I just want to show you guys one here that works real well. Go back. Then we're going to go into our add-ons here. Add-ons. And go all the way on top here where it has like this box, open box. Hit enter. Install from zip file. Okay, so you want to click that. We're going to find our Oath one that we just entered. There it is. And we got to download this zip file. Go OK. So it's going to start installing this into here. And then it's going to appear in our repositories. So once it's in the repositories, we could install into Kodi. So we'll go up here, install from repository. So once that zip file has been installed, and we'll go down here to host 505 repo. Click there, and we're going to be installing video add-ons. Because you could do program add-ons, music, stuff like that. Be video add-ons. And you want to do this one, the Oath. Click enter. And then over here, on the bottom right, install. Click that. And then you want to get all these. So you're going to click OK. Give it a bit. It's going to install all the stuff that the Oath needs on here. And once Kodi's done doing that, we're going to go back into our main screen. So all those add-ons, there it is. The Oath has been installed. So we could go back now. Escape. Oh, there it is. When we go to add-ons, our video add-ons, you'll see now the Oath icon appear. So we could access this. Click enter. And then that's it. And then now we could search by movies, TV shows, do a search on a movie, see what new movies, go to new movies. There you go. list of all new movies. If you hit left, you could change the view type. You want it like a wall, like this, the box arts. Let's say you want it like Free Guy, right? Hit enter. Once you find the movie you want, it's gonna look for them, the qualities. Now, some of them, if it's like new, if it hasn't been out yet, uh, you may only get like a cam version of it and stuff. This one works fine. And then basically how I do it, I search from the first one down. So if this one works, it'll load it up. If not, it goes to the next one until you get a working one on here. It shows you like the quality one that you're getting as well. And usually these come up quickly. Like if it's not there, they either get it in days or weeks. So you don't have to really wait that long for it, depending on the movie. Someone up here, and there you go. Boom, movie's loaded, ready to go. Free Guy here, just like that. Boom, you got your movies. Let me exit out of there. So if I wanted to go to, let's say, like TV shows, you could do the same thing there, or search for a movie, you know. But that's it. That's how you get that. So you got that one going. You could also try The Crew's pretty good too. And then if you wanted, like, let's say, like MMA or boxing matches or wrestling, live events, or like football, let's say NFL games, they have live TV too. So just Google for it, like Cody Addon, boxing or MMA or something like that. All right, but I'll do more of those in the future time. Just wanted to get you guys going there. We'll go back here. Go back to the main menu actually, and basically you want to exit out of here. You go all the way on top here. This power button thing. Click enter. You could reboot or you could power down system here. We're gonna do a quick reboot here. So Cody's simple. Cody's simple. You got that going, and just make sure that it's updated. And you could do it as a clean install too. Just have it as Kodi if you just want it as Kodi. And Kodi's great. You could install it on your Google Chromecast, on your Xbox, or on the Raspberry Pis as you see right now, or on your PC, Mac. Go to the Kodi website. It has all of that. All right, so we got desktop going. We got our Kodi for movies going on here. And in the next video, we're gonna get the games going here, baby. We're gonna get the games, whether you want to load them up on the SD card or you want to use the USB. If both could be done. So that'll be in part 2. It's gonna be a lot of different parts here. I just wanted to get you guys started up for that. All right, so we've got Kodi, we got the desktop version, we got the Retropie installed, and and then also you want those games. Let's go back to the Retropie setup, and you could do it also like in that desktop version, that PyKiss that we installed, or you could do it right here. So once again, it's manage packages, manage optional packages, and we scroll down till we get to ports. So a whole bunch of ports here. Let's do some Duke Nukem here. Click OK, and you want to do install from binary. Yes. So this will install Duke Nukem on here. Just want to show you guys. And like I said, there's a whole bunch of games there. There's Outrun, Descent, Doom, Quake. A lot of those old school DOS games, man. Plus I will have computer emulators on here as well, like Amiga on here, stuff like that. Commodore 64, All right, so that's installed. And that's it. It's done. So when we back out here, let me back out. Back. Let's do a reboot again. So we just installed Duke Nukem on here. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of other games. So I'll leave those there for now. But we're going to be installing a lot. I mean, thousands of games here if you want. But just want to get you guys started here for a bit here. So besides movies, besides the desktop here, I'll leave you here with some games before we dive into this thing. Before we go on this crazy rampage of old school gaming, man. If old school retro gaming is your thing, this thing I'm gonna make this, so you're getting all your money's worth here. So once that's rebooted, we'll go to ports here. We're gonna find Duke Nukem right here. Let's load that up here. I haven't seen this in a long time, man. It's been a while. So Duke Nukem will load up. But man, when this thing came out, it was crazy. I was like, whoa. Well, for some, I don't know if everybody like myself. So there we go. New game options. Wow. Man. Let's go. New game. LA Meltdown. Your skill level. Listen, it's been a while. There we go. We can Duke Nukem here on the Raspberry Pi. It's crazy. So, so I'll leave you guys with that. I haven't set up the controls there. It's the AWSD. But yeah. Duke Nukem right on your Raspberry Pi as well as other games. And then escape just exits out and you could quit the game here. Save game. So it's got all the features, But that's it. So I'm going to leave it like that. Like I said, we're going to get the emulators and all that here for you guys as well. Signing out, man.